Does Luke like not know what yelling is? Because I'm pretty sure it's similar to singing, which Buddy the Elf says is just moving your voice up and down. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about a really weird episode of The Bachelorette. Like, I've never seen this format before, I've never seen so much fighting, so before we get started, be sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every single week and it helps me a whole bunch. Now, let's get to the action. So the show picks up with her Luke P date and she's like, I can't give you this rose. And honestly, I was kind of shooken because I thought she was gonna give the rose and just be like, you know, you have to change or you have to be more open with your emotions. And when she's saying how hard it was for her, he's just like, yeah, it's been really hard for me too.
Why? Like,
you can't just repeat the things she says and make it seem genuine. Like, it's not all about you. And then he's like, yeah, I take responsibility for my actions. I did those things. Yeah, when you do things, they're actions, and then you did them. That's how adulting works. Like, that's not revolutionary. And he like doesn't accept that she doesn't give him the rose, and he leaves and then comes back, and it's just so extra. And when he comes back in, he's all like, I would move mountains for you, I want to yell. And his yelling isn't really yelling, it's more just someone talking like this and kind of like robotically trying to infuse their voice with emotion as if they don't know what that is. Does Luke like not know what yelling is? Because I'm pretty sure it's similar to singing, which Buddy the Elf says is just moving your voice up and down.
I'm singing! I'm in a store and I'm singing!
And then he's like, I never thought this would happen to me. And it just is so pretentious. And my mom's like, yeah, everybody loves him. Then he was all, I want to marry you, even though last week he's like, yeah, I think I might go home soon because my emotions just aren't there yet. Seems legit. Then he comes back from his date and all the guys are conveniently clustered by the door when he comes in. And he's like, yeah, it was a really bad date. She said it was the worst date she's ever been on. And you can tell that all the guys are trying so hard not to smile or just do like a fist in the air, an air fist, whatever, you know, the cool kids are saying. And then, you know, the fighting starts again that we're so used to, whatever. And I just so badly want Mike to deck him in the face. Like, I just want that for my soul. So then it's the cocktail party. Everything's pretty chill. You know, Garrett pulls her aside and he's like, yeah, I never wore a kilt before. And she's like, oh, you rocked it. He's like, yeah, I usually only wear it on Saturdays. And it's like, dude, I know you're trying to be funny, but you just say you never wear them and then you're saying it's on Saturdays. It's like, ugh, inconsistent. Then, you know, this is where things get spicy. Basically all the guys are together and Luke's like, I didn't talk about any of you. And Garrett's like, no one believes you. And honestly, big mood. But, you know, basically everyone's fighting, and then Hannah gets real mad that everyone's fighting. She's just, like, over it, exhausted. And my mom's like, I think she just puts on all this drama and, like, tears just to get hugs from Chris Harrison. And honestly, smart move. Then Hannah gets all, like, mad and, like, really disgruntled, and she's, like, yelling at the guys and, like, I'm just so mad at y'all. Like, no roll tide. Like, no fun. Like, I'm so tired of it. Like, it's exhausting. And she's mad about all the fighting, but not at the person who is the root of all the fighting. Tight. Then she basically says, stop talking, you know, stop fighting, ask me any questions you have, and then she leaves the room and goes upstairs and just, like, creepily waits in the shadows like the Phantom of the Opera and just keeps listening to all their fighting.
Touch me, trust me.
Then she, like, comes back in from her perch and she's like, no one knows anything about me, no one listens to me, and, like, I get it, because there's a lot of drama right now, so they're probably always talking about the drama, but really, like, you're saying none of them listen to you, none of them know anything about you. I'm pretty sure you have a pretty tight bond with Tyler, Peter, and Jed, so, like, they probably talk to you. And I get it, but also it's a little dramatic. And then in a really baller move, Tyler C is just telling the group, like, yo, y'all, like, this is messed up. She can't even have her fun last day in Scotland because she's talking about all of our emotions and it's trash and we need to fix it. And Peter also comes up, he's like, guys, this is really messed up. I haven't said anything because I wanted to avoid all the drama, but, like, this is messed up. So Tyler and Peter being number one. Then Hannah's obviously super upset and runs to Chris Harrison. He's dropping some words of wisdom on her. And, you know, they're all kind of territorial, and Chris says that's just because they care so much, and she wanted a manly man. She wanted someone who was going to fight for her. So it's kind of like, ugh, pick and choose what you want. And, you know, he's a better man than all of them at this point, except like Tyler and Peter, but like, ugh, whatever. Basically, after all this drama, she sends home Devin and Kevin and Grant, and it was fine. I'm convinced that she sent home Devin because when she was addressing all the men, he's like, I just have a question. When I'm talking to you, I'm just focused on us. So why is Luke P talking about us? And she's like, because I asked him about it. So I think she really didn't like that. So I'm thinking that's like what put the final nail in his coffin. So basically, this episode was just like a bunch of the guys fighting, and then 45 minutes of Hannah just talking about how apparently none of the guys are good, but like Chris Harrison trying to remind her of all the amazing moments she's had with multiple men. And honestly, it was just so much fluff. But some of the interesting parts in it were, you know, how she's saying that she doesn't have any connections with any of the guys. And I'm like, dude, you literally have such a strong connection with Peter, Tyler, and Jed. Like, I don't understand how you can say no one's here for you. I mean, obviously there are things we're not seeing, but like, it was just kind of a lot. Then he asks her who the best kisser is, and she says Luke, and it was gross because like her future husband's probably gonna be watching this, but like whatevs, he's probably secure in himself. But it doesn't surprise me that the best kisser is a snake. Then in like some of the uncomfortable moments, you know, Chris is like, when did things get weird? When were things super uncomfy for you? And she talks about how one of the guys, you know, tried to kiss her by the fireplace, and they show a whole clip and it's super uncomfy and you literally get side embarrassment. It's so bad. And the dude like goes in for a kiss, but they both kind of miss. It's just like a kiss on the side of the mouth, and I literally screamed. Shoot me. Well, that's it for this episode, you guys. There really was only like 20 minutes of actual content this week, so I'm hoping that they actually have, I don't know, dates again next week. I know, call me needy, call me crazy, but if you like this video and you want to see more of the Bachelor commentary that I have, be sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every single week and it helps me a whole bunch. Subscribe.